You wake up, and before you even get out of bed, it's already there. That quiet background hum. That low-level anxiety sitting somewhere between your chest and your stomach. You're not in a crisis. Nothing dramatic happened. But something feels off. Something feels unsettled. And if you're honest with yourself, you know exactly what it is. Money. Not a specific bill. Not one emergency. Just the constant, low-grade stress of never feeling fully in control of your financial life. And the exhausting part? It never completely goes away. Most people assume financial stress comes from not having enough money. And sometimes that's true. But here's what most people never figure out. A lot of financial stress doesn't come from your bank balance. It comes from one specific habit. A habit so normal, so widely accepted, that most people never question it. And it's been quietly running your stress levels for years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that habit is, why it works against you psychologically, and the simple shift that changes everything. Relatable middle-class struggle, 0:50 to 2 o'clock. Let's talk about what financial stress actually feels like day to day. It's checking your bank account first thing in the morning. Not because something went wrong. Just to make sure nothing went wrong overnight. It's that small spike of anxiety every time your card gets swiped at the grocery store. Wondering if it'll go through. Wondering if you're cutting it too close. It's the Sunday evening dread when you mentally run through the week ahead. Rent is coming. The car needs an oil change. Your phone bill auto-pays Thursday. You do the math in your head for the fourth time that day. And the numbers technically work. But they work tight. Too tight to feel comfortable. It's saying yes to things you can't really afford because saying no feels embarrassing. And then carrying the financial hangover for the next 2 weeks. This isn't poverty. This is something millions of working adults experience every single day. People with jobs. People with income. People doing everything they're supposed to do. And still feeling financially anxious almost constantly. The question nobody asks is why. Why does the stress never go away even when the money is technically there? The answer starts with understanding something called reactive money management. Reactive money management means you deal with money only when something forces you to. A bill arrives. You pay it. Your balance drops low. You get nervous. Payday hits. You feel relief. Then the cycle starts again. It sounds normal because it is normal. It's how most people handle money. But here's what it does to your nervous system. Your brain cannot relax about something it cannot predict. And when your financial life runs entirely on reaction, nothing is predictable. Every expense feels like a potential threat. Every purchase carries a small undercurrent of uncertainty. Are we okay? Will we be okay? That uncertainty is the source of the stress. Not the amount of money. The unpredictability of it. Research in behavioral economics has shown that financial uncertainty activates the same stress response in the brain as physical danger. Your body doesn't distinguish between a lion and a low bank balance. It just registers threat. And living in that state of low-level threat, month after month, is genuinely exhausting. And here's the cruel part. Reactive money management actually makes your financial situation worse over time. Because stress impairs decision-making. When you're anxious, your brain defaults to short-term thinking. Immediate relief over long-term planning. Which means comfort spending goes up, saving goes down, and the cycle tightens. So here's the shift. The financial habit keeping you stressed isn't overspending. It isn't debt. It isn't even a low income. It's the absence of a plan. Not a complicated plan. Not a perfect plan. Just the presence of one. Because here's what a plan actually does. It converts unpredictability into predictability. And predictability is what your nervous system has been desperately searching for. When you know where your money is going before the month starts, every expense stops feeling like a threat. The car repair doesn't send you into panic mode because you planned for it. The rent due date doesn't create Sunday evening dread because it's already accounted for. The grocery run doesn't carry anxiety because the number is already decided. The plan doesn't change how much money you have. It changes how your brain experiences that money. And that difference is everything. 3 shifts. Simple. Practical. Starting this week. Shift 1. Move from reactive to proactive. Once a month, before the month begins, sit down for 20 minutes. Assign every dollar a job before it arrives. Housing. Food. Transport. savings, everything else. This is called a zero-based budget. Every dollar has a destination. Nothing floats. Nothing is vague. The goal isn't restriction. The goal is intention. Because intentional spending feels completely different from reactive spending. When you consciously decide to spend $300 on groceries this month, that grocery run carries zero anxiety. You already decided. The decision is done. That 20-minute monthly habit eliminates more financial stress than almost any other single action you can take. Shift 2. Build a small buffer and protect it. One of the biggest sources of reactive money stress is the absence of any financial cushion. When every unexpected expense hits the same account you're living from, everything feels like a crisis. Start small. Even $500 sitting in a separate account, untouched, changes your psychological relationship with money dramatically. Research consistently shows that people with even a small emergency buffer report significantly lower financial stress levels than those without one, regardless of income level. This isn't about being wealthy. It's about removing the threat response from everyday financial life. When something unexpected happens, your brain needs to know there's a buffer. Even a small one. Build it slowly. Automate $25 or $50 per week into a separate account. Don't touch it. Let it grow. And notice how your baseline anxiety quietly drops as it does. Shift 3. Automate the most important decisions. The more financial decisions you have to make manually every month, the more mental energy money consumes. And the more mental energy money consumes, the more stressed you feel. Automate your savings transfer the day after payday. Automate your most important bills. Remove the decisions from your daily mental load. Because here's what most people don't realize. Financial stress isn't just about money. It's about mental bandwidth. Every unresolved financial question sitting in the back of your mind costs you energy. Automation answers those questions before you have to ask them. Imagine waking up 6 months from now. Same income. Same life. But something is different. The background hum is quieter. That low-level chest anxiety isn't the first thing you feel in the morning. You check your bank account not out of fear, but out of habit. Because you already know roughly what's there. You plan for it. The car needs a repair. You handle it. Not easily, but calmly. Because there's a buffer. Because you planned. That is what financial control actually feels like. Not rich. Not perfect. Just calm. And calm is worth more than most people realize until they experience it. The financial habit keeping you stressed isn't a spending problem. It isn't an income problem. It's a planning problem. And planning is free. 20 minutes once a month. A small buffer growing quietly in a separate account. A few automated transfers removing decisions from your daily life. None of this is complicated. All of it works. Because the goal was never to become wealthy overnight. The goal was to stop waking up with that feeling. That quiet, exhausting, low-grade financial dread that's been following you around for longer than it should have. You can fix that? And it starts with one decision this week. If this gave you a clearer picture of why money stress feels the way it does, subscribe. Every week, one honest video about building financial stability in the real world. No hype. Just what works.